Hello ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, my name's Kevin and welcome to my channel, The Art of Horror. Today I'll be discussing American Horror Story Apocalypse episodes 8 and 9. Do androids dream of electric goats? Finding life goals can be extremely difficult, especially if you're the Antichrist. Being part of a club is fun, especially when it involves human sacrifice. And whatever you do, don't mention the Illuminati. Episode 8 starts out with Michael Langdon investigating the scene of Ms. Mead's death, where the witches burnt her and her satanic followers at the stake. While Michael is mourning the death of his loved one, Ms. Mead, Cordelia conveniently turns up to manipulate Michael and hopefully sway him from his path. Michael promptly tells Cordelia to stick this idea up her jumper. And in a parallel move comparable to Jesus, Michael then journeys out into the wilderness in search of answers from his father. He begins to lose faith, and it seems out of instinct he draws a satanic symbol on the ground, which is then followed by hallucinations of sorts. It seems he's being put through a trial of temptation as he's offered food and solace. Michael, however, doesn't see any of this as helpful and continues on his journey, finding himself in the city. Once in the city, he's drawn to a satanic church, where a kindly old lady decides to take him under her wing and look after him. While staying with her, Michael claims to be the Antichrist, and she sees this as blasphemous and goes to cut Michael's throat, at which point he says, "See me," and she sees the 666 mark behind his ear and realizes that he is, in fact, the Antichrist. She presents him to the satanic church, which apparently has been having trouble with its flock of followers unable to commit acts of pure evil. They decide to amp up this process by offering a human sacrifice, or in this case a pair of humans to sacrifice, to their Dark Lord. When Michael arrives back at the church, the honour of sacrificing these two innocent people is given to the Antichrist himself. Michael slits both their throats in unison in a spectacular move. We learn this episode that Michael is incapable of resurrecting, which I would have thought would have been one of his powers, considering he actually travelled to hell to save Madison and Queenie. But it kind of makes sense that he would only have dominion over his father's realm, as not everyone who dies goes to hell, obviously. And as a result of him not being able to resurrect, he expresses his desire to bring Ms. Mead back, whereupon he is given a way to bring her back indeed. And possibly the greatest twist in American Horror Story I have ever seen. Even though I kind of saw it coming, I really didn't think the writers would actually go there. And oh boy, they did go there. We are introduced to a robotics lab. It's at this lab we meet Evan Peters and Billy Eichner, recast as robotic engineers Jeff and Mutt, both with amazing hair, I must say. Jeff and Mutt are being looked after by Ms. Venables, acting as their PA. We also see that Jeff and Mutt have both sold their souls to Satan, which has many benefits apparently, one of being which you cannot get addicted to drugs. So Jeff and Mutt both take copious amounts of cocaine, more than enough to kill hundreds of people, but apparently they can snort as much as they like without any ill effects. Ms. Venable at this point doesn't quite understand how they can do it. When they meet Michael Langdon, he once again proves that he is the Antichrist to Jeff and Mutt, at which point they pledge their allegiance and tell Michael bringing Ms. Mead back is not a problem. I was very much on the fence about Ms. Mead being a robot. If you've watched my past videos and listened to what I was saying, I was definitely erring towards the side more of her being human. But part of me really wanted the writers to let go and bring her in as a robot, and I think this is a fantastic twist. And the red herrings and false pathways that the writers lead you down as a viewer are really impressing me this season. The beginning of episode 9 sees us back at the robotics lab with Jeff, Mutt, and Ms. Venable. We learn that Jeff and Mutt are quite disappointed with the Antichrist's efforts at being all antichristy. They seem to be both ready to give up on Michael Langdon, but then decide that they can manipulate him into achieving what they want. And while everybody is a pivotal piece in this puzzle, Jeff and Mutt seem to be the major linchpin in bringing about nuclear destruction to the Earth. Michael returns to the Coven with his newly created robotic Ms. Mead, and they lay waste to the witches. Ms. Mead in this scene came across to me as very Terminator-esque, and I really enjoyed seeing Kathy Bates walk around with a machine gun for an arm. We also learn this episode that the Cooperative is actually the Illuminati, but they rebranded themselves due to bad press on the internet. The witches who survived the heinous attack by Michael and Ms. Mead on the Coven hatch a plan to travel in time and bring back a witch who has the power to help them defeat the Antichrist. Now, I'm no history buff, so don't jump on me if I get any of this information wrong. But the witch they seem to be going back to rescue appears to be Anastasia, the daughter of the Tsar. The Tsar's family, of course, were all murdered at the beginning of the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917. The witch's plan is to travel back in time and rescue Anastasia and bring her back to modern times to battle Michael Langdon. They attempt to do this, and while it's partly successful, they attempt to do this, and while the spell is partially successful, Mallory fails to bring Anastasia back to modern times. Jeff and Mutt unveil their plan to Michael and Ms. Venable. They offer Ms. Venable a place running her own outpost once the apocalypse has been achieved. Upon seeing proof of the Antichrist, she gladly accepts. Jeff and Mutt then take it upon themselves to introduce Michael Langdon to the Illuminati/Cooperative, and they unveil their plans for world destruction. I find it very interesting that Michael is very unsure and almost innocent in what he is setting out to achieve. While he knows who he is very unsure on how to achieve the results he wants to get. Lucky for Michael, though, Jeff and Mutt not only know what to do, but have the connections to help out. And so we pretty much see everything come together at the end of episode 9, getting a glimpse into how the Antichrist destroys the world. I love that we went into this show as a complete mystery, and how it is bringing together all the loose ends. The only prediction I could make at this point is I see a massive battle coming between the witches and Michael Langdon. But being American Horror Story, I don't think that's going to go very well for them. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm very interested to see where the next episode takes us. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you would like to see more videos like this from me, please feel free to subscribe. This has been Kevin for The Art of Horror. Goodbye for now.